Today I will be discussing about the rules and procedure of immovable and movable property, initial property statement and annual immovable property returns. At times it is seen that many government servants are not aware with the proper rules, proformas for intimation of property transactions. Therefore, in July 2016, INSEE branch has brought a detailed policy letter bringing about rules and proformas for the intimation of property transactions. Transactions related to immovable and immovable property, the proper formats have been given by the INSEE branch in the form of Appendix G and Appendix H. Appendix G for immovable and movable property is different, but Appendix H is similar for both the transactions. Appendix H requires counter signature by the controlling officer. The documents should be filled properly and neatly by the government servant. It is aimed that before sending any new transaction for the noting, he should ensure that earlier transactions have been noted by the INSEE branch or their commands, as the case may be. It is generally the rule followed by INSEE branch that no new transaction is noted unless observations related to previous transactions are settled. Therefore, every government servant should act promptly in settlement of the observations related to previous transactions. The intimation about the property transactions should be submitted to INSEE branch or command, as the case may be, through their channel of reporting. At times it is seen that lower formations are sending the transactions related to government servants in their offices directly to INSEE branch, which is improper. Only annual immovable property returns can be sent directly to INSEE branch, CRO or command, as the case may be, but property transactions should be submitted through their channel of reporting. For acquisition of any immovable property, prior intimation is must. Before prior intimation, no government servant is expected to go in any acquisition of immovable property. After the prior intimation, he is also expected to intimate the final execution of immovable property. The forms provides proper details. What are the columns to be filled by a government servant? He should write all the details neatly. It is also good that the telephone numbers, mobile numbers are given to have faster communication. The source of finances should be elaborated properly. If government servant has used his savings for transaction of property, he should enclose 1 year bank statement. If he has taken any loan, then loan sanction letter should be enclosed. The loan amount should first be transferred in his own saving account, then the amount should be disbursed further with respect to any transaction. At times, certain government servants take assistance from their near relatives. It is allowed to take loan assistance from their near relatives, but a letter from that person along with his source of income and his PAN number should be enclosed while intimating such transactions. The value of property should be complete, including all tentative amounts, even the registration amount. Sometimes the properties are purchased jointly, then share of the all applicants should be mentioned. Not only the share of applicants, but their contribution towards purchase of the property should also be mentioned. Their bank statements should be enclosed. Whenever he go for sale deed, it should be either in English or Hindi version, but if it is in regional language, then it should be translated in Hindi or English. While intimating the sale of property transaction, it should be ensured that the purchase has been noted and letter to that effect is enclosed with sale of property transaction intimation. At times, person inherited certain properties. It is expected that government servant should intimate timely to the government about such inheritance at the time of his first appointment or subsequently, as the case may be. Therefore, while selling of any inherited properties, he should include the noting of transactions when they have been acquired. Soft loans are permitted from the relatives. It is expected that first these soft loans should be deposited in bank accounts before making any payments towards the purchase of the property. The time limit to intimate any transaction of movable property is 30 days. For movable property, as we have discussed earlier, that no prior intimation is required. If a person is purchasing car, he should include the amount of the purchase of car, registration of the car, insurance amount, any local tax amount, accessories, etc. He should also enclose the copy of registration and insurance certificate. If a person taking assistance from his wife, then source of income of wife should also be intimated and copy of 1 year bank statement should invariably be enclosed with such reportings. Government do not propagate acceptance of gifts by government servant. Therefore, to curb these practices, government has imposed certain restrictions in acceptance of gifts by the government servant. At time, it is seen that a person going for property transaction and his own financial contribution towards such acquisitions is only 10 to 20%, and 90 to 80% amount is financed by soft loans from relatives, which is not desired. Only temporary loans of small amounts free of interest can be taken by a government servant, but their amount should not be large. If it is significant, then prior sanction of government under Rule 16 of CCS is must. Whenever a government servant join whatever the property he owned at the time of joining of service, he should intimate all such details to the government, whether it is movable property, immovable property, inherited property, etc. The gifts obtained by him during the marriage should also be reported. Annual immovable property return, which is called AIPR, every government servant is expected to submit the details of his or her immovable properties as on 31st December of the last year by 31st January of the next year. The annual immovable property returns do not require counter signature and can be forwarded directly to the competent authority, that is ENC branch, CRO or command, as the case may be. In the annual immovable property return, the approximate present value of each of the property should be mentioned. He should also mention the letter by which the immovable property has been noted by the competent authority. The government has strengthened the rule with respect to AIPR that if a government servant fails to submit it timely, then his vigilance clearance may be withheld or disciplinary action may be initiated. For initial property statement, there are 5 forms have been provided in the pro forma. First form is for immovable properties. Form 2 includes liquid assets, examples is saving bank accounts, cash in hands, shares, mutual funds, etc. Form 3 is for movable property, which includes jewelry, other things in the form of kinds, example refrigerator, television, which are valuable. Form 4 provides for provident funds and life insurance policies. Form 5 is for the debt and other liabilities. All these 5 forms should be submitted to the competent authority through proper channel. This is the format for AIPR. Since year 2022 onwards, the submission of AIPR has been made online through Sparrow compulsory for all Group A and Group B officers. This is the format for intimating immovable property transactions. This is the form for intimating movable property transaction, and this is Appendix H, which is to be countersigned by HOO to be enclosed with all immovable or movable property transactions. This lecture will be helpful for all the government servants of MES in understanding the proper procedure and format of intimating property transaction. Thank you so much.